Hey folks, Matt from Art of the Image. So I'm looking to get one of these rugged, tough pocket cameras, point and shoots. My kids are really young. Ella's coming up on 2 and Lily is 3.5. We're in the park, we're in the sand, we're outside at the beach, by the pool. It can get wet, can get dirty. These are things that I don't want to take with a video camera or other things like that in situations like this. So one of these compact all-weather type cameras looks really appealing to me. So what I'm looking at now that the new Nikon AW100 is out, it looks to be like it might be the best one of the bunch. However, I'm also looking at, I've narrowed it down to 3. I've narrowed it down to the Nikon AW100, the Sony TX10, and the Panasonic TS3. I've ruled out the Olympus and the Fuji for various reasons, mostly from some input from my buddy who is a manager of a local photography store and just quality control and complaints about various things. So these are the 3 that I've narrowed it down to, and namely for specs and things like that as well, especially with the AW100, which looks really nicely spec'd. So let's take a look here. I'm trying to decide in my mind which one I'm gonna purchase and see if I like it. And the AW100, $379.95 MSRP here in Canada. Really neat looking. It's waterproof, shockproof, freeze-proof. It has a 5x Nikkor ED glass zoom lens in it. Really neat looking little camera. One of the things I like the most about this thing is the lock on the side. It pushes in and then screws in, so you can't stick this in your pocket and have the card cover or the battery compartment or whatever flip open and possibly be exposed then, if you don't notice it when you take it out again, to water or whatever. So AW100 16 megapixel sensor. Not sure if that's a good thing because these are tiny sensors. This is a 1 2/3 inch sensor, so probably would have been better if they had kept it lower megapixels. We certainly don't need 16 in a pocket camera, but that seems to be where we're at. We've got the lens is an equivalent 28 to 140 millimeter when you're talking in 35 millimeter lens terms. So pretty good zoom on there. It's 5x ED Nikkor glass, 12 elements in 10 groups. We have the VR, Nikon's VR vibration reduction technology on here, so that's your image stabilization, so you should be able to hand hold it pretty well. The has various autofocus modes, face priority, subject tracking, all that looks good. Focus range close up is 1 centimeter for macro, so that looks really good. The monitor resolution is 460K, 460,000 dots. Okay, but not the best of the bunch. I believe it's a Sony that has a 910 or 920, so that's not class leading there. Takes a SD, SDHC, and SDXC memory cards, so that's fine. I've got lots of those. It records in JPEG. Audio files are in WAV. Would have been nice if that was MP3. And it records MOV movies, MPEG 4 with the AVCH264 codec. So that's really good there, and it does record, let me just double check that here. I believe it was up to, it's 1080i, so it's not 1080p, but from what I recall, the other 2, they are only up to 1080i as well. I don't think any of these rugged cameras actually give us the 1080p. Not a big deal, really. I'm looking to probably not, I might even sell my little Sony Vixia HF200 camcorder in favor of this for when I want to film the kids and stuff. When I'm shooting stuff like you're watching right now, I use my D7000. So this is for, as I said, the kids outdoors. So high ISO sensitivity goes up to 3200. That's good. Is it actually good in reality? Any of these cameras aren't going to be great at 3200 ISO. Probably barely even usable if you turn it to a black and white and shot in optimum lighting conditions. These are tiny sensors, 1 2/3 inch sensors. You want to stay under 800. Ideally, you want to stay under 400. And I mean, the best situation is keep it at its base resolution, which is its base ISO, which is 125. So it's got lots of scene modes. I don't really use those, but if you like those, there's lots of them there. I'm kind of just pointing out the things that are important to me for why I might want to pick up this camera, and then I'm going to compare it, look at the other cameras, the TS3 and the TX10, and have a look and see which one out of all of them looks like the one I'm going to buy to try it out and see if I like it. In-camera image editing, there's a lot of stuff you can do there. Sometimes that's handy. Again, not something I really use. You may use it, so it's good to know it's there. Lots of white balance settings, including a manual setting, which is really nice. Speaking of manual setting, that's one of the things that this camera doesn't do, and I don't think any of them do, is allow you to get into manual shooting, so setting your shutter speed and your exposure and whatnot. Can't do that on this camera. It's an auto exposure camera, and I believe that is the same with the TX10 and the TS3, but we'll see that when I go through those. Top continuous shooting speed at full resolution is 3 shots at 7 frames a second, and that kind of links in too. There's no RAW mode that I can see on here. It appears to only shoot in JPEG for still images. Would have liked to have the RAW, same as I would have liked to have the manual exposure control. But in this type of camera, you sacrifice some things for the small portable camera and the rugged camera that you can take anywhere and the kids can beat up. You can drop it in the pool, things like that. As I said, the video goes up to 1080i. It's got 720p and goes to 1080i. Has an HDMI mini connector that's standard these days, and it uses Nikon's rechargeable lithium-ion battery, the EN-EL12. So these are the main points. The big thing for me that I like about this, as I said, is very rugged-looking, sturdy camera, and I love the screw-in lock type on the side where your battery compartment and your memory card go. That's a big plus for me on that one. The 5x Nikkor ED zoom, another big plus. So that's two big things that I like. It factors in favor of the AW100. The VR is good, but I believe we have equivalent on both the Panny and on the Sony. The macro close-up mode is nice. We'll have to compare that on the other two. And a negative here, the resolution on the monitor could be better. 460K is okay, but it's not class leading at 900,000 plus. And let's see, the movie file format is good. And other than that, oh, one of the things I missed that I should tell you that looks good to me, it's another plus, electronically controlled neutral density filter with a 2-stop selection on there. So that's really cool. So, you know, if you're out and it's super bright sunlight and you want to control that somewhat, you can use the electronic built-in neutral density filter. I believe the X100 has that. Not sure, but I think the Fuji X10 has that too. That's it in a nutshell. There's 4 or 5 main points to the AW100 that I really like. The interesting thing is this camera looks almost exactly identical to the Panasonic TS3, which the TS3 has gotten some really big awards and has basically, up till now, been the class-leading outdoor rugged waterproof camera. It remains to be seen. The Nikon AW100 will displace it for that, but be interesting to see. So those are the main points that are of interest to me about this AW100. Up till now, I haven't really been impressed with Nikon's point-and-shoot cameras. Most people realize I'm a pretty big Nikon fan, but the point-and-shoot cameras haven't been up to snuff until now, and may still not be. I have to play with this, and we'll see. It looks okay. It looks to be very good on paper. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with the TS3, the TX10, and then hopefully I'll have at least the reigning champ that I choose to try out. If not, maybe get my hands on all 3 of them for you to demo them and show you some samples. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with some new video posts, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography here at artoftheimage.com. And if you haven't already, check out Pumpernickel Park for my kids' ebooks. And they're great price at 99 cents. And Chloe the Dancing Cow, I should tell you, I'm very happy, is climbing the charts. It was number 10 so far on Amazon in children's ebooks age 0 to 3. So thank you very much for those of you that have been purchasing and helping out there. And also, if you have teens or tweens that having a hard time to get reading, check out diaryofanerdking.com. Very similar to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. It's fun, it's got some illustrations, and it's free online at nerdkingdiary.com. Thanks, folks. We'll talk to you soon.